generally have a pleasure of speaking with coaches, researchers who do this full time. It's barely that I speak and meet with corporate executives who excel in many areas. And today is one such day where I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Sidharth Yadav, who is Managing Director of Volkswagen Group of Technology Solutions here based in Pune, India. And we are talking about two things. One, how does he stay so fit? But also, how does he lead the company parallelly so efficiently? Let's welcome Mr. Yadav to the show and speak all about it. Sidharth, thank you for spending time with us today. Your fitness journey, when I look at it, is inspiring. And I thought we'll spend some time today to go over that. Will that be fine with you?
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here, actually, to talk about the fitness overall. As a company, we really promote fitness in the organization. And this is the reason we said we need to do this.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming over and doing this podcast.
So the pleasure is mine. When we think of fitness, people get intimidated most of the times. And I have spoken with a lot of beginners, and almost every time I hear that is difficult. Do you think fitness is difficult? I ask this also because you were a beginner at one point of time when it comes to fitness.
You know, I really sometimes smile about that thinking, because fitness is our true self.
Yeah.
It's not something we need to acquire. It's what we need to be.
Yeah.
I think unfit, we should ask this question. that it's tough to be unfit. Sometimes I feel, if you have to climb stairs, being unfit. If you go to a mountain trek, being unfit is uneasy.
Yeah.
So fitness is our natural state.
Yeah, no, indeed. And thank you for putting that perspective, because you're so right. Being unfit should not be a state that's constant. That should be a state, if you get in, you should exit from there fairly soon. And still this question keeps coming as to how should one prioritize fitness. When we look at India particularly, as we grow up, we focus on academics a lot. We focus on family and cultural values. But at the same time, we do not see the same focus when it comes to fitness. How did you find your motivation to start your journey?
So during the school, college times, I was very active in sports. I was a volleyball player. Of course, at the school level or the university level itself, because as you rightly said, the academics takes over, the priority. But at least it was a sport to be with friends, to play something. But when I started the corporate journey, as it happens with the work culture, we used to have that time where the working hours don't count, and we used to really work hard. And I realized that I was not doing fitness enough. I used to occasionally go to gym, so I thought the gym is what keeps me fit. But turning point happened when we had, as a company, organized a run, and I said, okay, company's organizing, let's run. I registered for just 5K in that, and I found it difficult to run even 5K there. I realized I need to change something. I couldn't relate it to myself because I considered myself fit. I'm going to the gym. I used to be a good player during my education time, so I felt bad about myself. So there, something changed, pushed me to start running again, but this time preparing. So it was an interesting story, actually. I was in Germany that time. We were a couple of friends from the office itself, and we said, let's do a marathon together. And we were not running. We said, let's do a marathon in a relay format. So everybody will do 10, and one of the last guys will do 12K.
Okay.
And this is how the journey actually started. We started with 1K, 2K, did some training plans, then did my first 10K, first half marathon, and then it continued.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Gradual progress it was, and
Yeah.
I assume it's been a journey of more than 10 years now, isn't it?
Yeah, we started in 2013. Yeah, you're right.
Awesome. Starting to run for fitness, or taking an opportunity where the firm decided in certain ways to give a platform, and you took that, and I'm sure you're doing something similar here now, providing that opportunity to your employees and team. And the better thing is that I was here at workplace since morning. I see a lot more informed employees and team members. I see almost fitness being practiced everywhere. So kudos to that. But starting from there and taking on to make it a lifestyle, and eventually go on to take some of the most enduring, most difficult sport, for example, Ironman and subsequently Ultraman. How did you plan to go that far?
Yeah, something I think some craziness is always there.
Yeah.
But my work requires a lot of travel, not just in the country, outside country as well.
Right.
But what is constant in my suitcase is my running shoes and my swimming gear. So wherever I get chance, I go out and run, and it's not difficult. People feel that or think it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's actually not. Taking 1 hour in the morning, I think it's always possible. And to be honest, it's best way to explore new cities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I used to go travel a lot in Asia, when I go in Japan, I used to just take the shoes and run around the city, and then I knew more about the city than any other guy. So this was this helped me to as well to explore new places. From there I continued. I think the important part was being consistent, which helped me to grow in the sport as well.
Yeah. Yeah. See, being consistent, that's the base for sure. But now from there to go and do an Ultraman distance, which is equivalent to 515 kilometers over a period of 3 days and 4 stages, is something else. So when we look at in our country, I can only count on a few people who have ever completed altogether, right? You have a extremely demanding job. And why I say this also, because not only because you are the MD of the firm, but also you have the entire team to take care of. How do you manage training that is 8 to 12 hours a week, I'm assuming, because that's minimum that you would require or more. And then at the same time performing at the top level in the corporate. How did you train for Ultraman, for example, right from the start when you dreamt of it to the Ultraman itself?
I think the journey of triathlon started with Ironman, when Ironman decided to come to India with half Ironman. So that time I was just running, and was easy running. I used to just do running for enjoying. I used to participate few of the events, but when Ironman came, it excited. So this was something. This is something new. This we have to try. But we didn't had cycle. We didn't knew swimming as a sport. It was more or less like a vacation, going in a pool, playing a little bit, and that's what the swimming was all about.
And you also didn't think bike was that expensive, isn't it?
Exactly. Very important point. I think this was the biggest shocker when first time we realized, we went to buy a bike, and then we realized, this is not a normal bike.
Yeah.
But there the journey started. No? When we started to go out on bikes, we really liked it. No, it was not as stressful as running, because running takes, I think, more efforts. Cycling came much easy, much faster. You could enjoy the route better. You can eat better on the bike. Swimming was difficult, because swimming, I think, is a lot technical. You have to float. And that too, we had never experienced swimming in a ocean. Was never dreamt of that. But it started slowly to build up. We did the first. When I finished my first, I said, I've done it. It was possible.
Yeah.
Then we say, what's next? And then I did my first full Ironman as well. After that, we started something in the organization called 10x goals. 10x goals it started with Google actually. They call them moonshots. So that means you think of something unthinkable. That means you say, I want to achieve, like want to go to the moon. That's why it's called moonshot. I want to go to the moon, which you think is not possible.
Yeah.
And then you start preparing it. You still say, how can I? What could be my steps to reach moon?
Yeah.
And when we started 10x or these moonshots, so I said in personal, I also have to. I decided 2 moonshots, one for the company, and one for for my personal self. For company, we said we will double the company in 2 years, and for personal, I did my full. So I said, what's next? And then I was looking around and I found about Ultraman. And that excited me. That was like, this is a moonshot.
That's a
this I can
shot.
never this I can never imagine that I can do with the age, with all the responsibilities. But I found a good coach. I think that plays a very, very important role. Who's experienced, who knows how things are done. And then taking out time. So normal build up. So we have different phases.
Yeah.
How you start. You start to build up your phase. In the build up phase, 10 to 12 hours was okay. That means fine for time for 3 days for swim, 3 days for cycle, and 3 days. So sometimes you have to do two things together. Then strength you have to also do. But weekdays was 1 to 1.5 hour in the mornings. So weekends were a little more.
Sure.
Early morning. But I used to go very early in the morning, starting like 4:30 or 5. So but I was done till the time my family was getting up. So this was also to keep that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Ultraman was amazing journey.
Waking up 4:30 and 5, I'm looking at my team and thinking who would be waking up that early to be able to train and come back to the family. And while I'm in the same boat as you when it comes to waking up early and getting our workouts done, but when beginners think of it, of course it's not it's a 10x goal for them to be able to wake up early and go. So I'm sure you planned earlier the previous day, because if you don't stop your day the previous day early, you can't wake up earlier the next day. I'm trying to nudge and intervene through these smaller nuggets, because these are the information that are also valuable to the people who are listening to this conversation. As you went about, how did you continue to progress and train your body in a way that it was able to take those loads? Because while you made it very easy to say that 3 sport, I was just doing at times 2 sports in a day, etc. It's very difficult, right? To be able to just even stand right here for an hour and not do anything. How were you managing it?
So first of all, triathlon actually is not about 3 sports. It's about 5.
Okay. Yeah.
So 3 we already know: swim, cycle, run. It's 4th is the nutrition, and 5th is your mind conditioning.
Yes.
So because it's an endurance sport, you need hours. For a full, you need somewhere between 12 to 13 to 14 hours continuous running. So you need to train yourself, your mind to do so. So these are 5 disciplines we talk about. First, I will answer how the people who are not in the sport has to. I think they have to start gradually. They have to start gradually. And very important, we talked shortly about it, consistency.
Yeah.
So it's not that every day I feel, oh, now I am awake, now I'm here for the world. Every day is not like that. There are days when you say, I don't want to get up. No, I don't want to. But you push yourself, even for half an hour.
Yeah.
If you can't do your 1 hour drill, you just do something for half an hour. It's just that every day doing something, and then it becomes your habit.
Yeah.
Once it's habit, if you don't do, you feel bad.
True.
Yeah. So if I will not run or do any of the sport, then the day will not be that energetic for me. So I think it's like brushing your teeth. Yeah? If you don't brush in the morning, you'll feel something is wrong.
Yeah.
So it's similar. It's building that habit and doing it consistently. Regarding Ultraman, to reach to that level of fitness, I think because this is a kind of extreme sport, I would consider. And like if in a Ironman there are 1,000 participants in an event, Ultraman there will be around 40 to 50 max from all over the world. So this is a very, very niche, and they called it as a tribe.
Yeah.
So, and they are top athletes who are there. Just to be within them, I felt I've come to a very different place. I was humbled to be in the presence of those guys who have achieved I don't know what else in that sports. They've done I don't know 10, 20 Ironmans, and they looked like sports guys, and I was like a corporate guy coming to Ultraman event. But I trained slowly towards it. I did my all trainings based on heart rate, because it's a 3 days. It's a complete shift of mindset. You cannot do a 10K like you will do a marathon. No? Similar, if you do a half Ironman, you can't do Ultraman in that thinking.
Yeah.
So you are always thinking during day 1 that I have to survive day 3 as well.
Yeah.
So you have to eat every hour for the next hour in a right way. Otherwise, your third hour will go bad.
Yeah.
So it's actually a science that you have to really plan, train your body to be. For 1 year, I had a very controlled diet as well. No? So enough number of proteins, so all that stuff. But it came easy. It was not. I'm a vegetarian, so it limited some options. But
For protein
but being in India, I think it was not that a problem. So over time, I think last 6 months were the time where the build-up phase really kicked in. So you need to put a little more hours. So weekends I was putting more hours, like Saturday 3 hours, Sunday 5 hours, something like that. But weekdays I was doing 1.5 hour a day, which was still possible in your regular travel day or business day. So getting up early, I think that's the biggest advantage.
That is.
Yeah. So if you have 2 hours for yourself in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. If sun is up earlier than you, then you've lost it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you were able to win it. So kudos again. For people's benefit who are beginners and who are listening to this and watching this, can you give a little more information about Ultraman? What exactly this beast has in it? I'm very excited to give all in, but it should come from you.
Okay. So Ultraman is a 3-day triathlon event. So day 1 is 10K swim.
10 kilometers
10
swimming.
kilometer swim in a sea, open sea. Then we have followed by 141 kilometers of cycle. And you have to finish it every day in 12 hours.
12 hours.
So day 2 is around 281 kilometer cycle.
Yeah.
And day 3 is 2 full marathons. That is around 84
Wow.
kilometers.
84.3 kilometers.
Kilometers.
Only.
Yes. So that's the magnitude, and every day you have to do it within 12 hours. And if you don't make one day, then you're out of the event, or it's a DNF.
Wow. With so much of humbleness, you are saying this, but people should contextualize. Here in India, getting a 50-meter swimming pool is very difficult. And here you were swimming for 10 kilometers. And that's the start before you went on to do other sport, before you did further cycling and then later running. Fantastic. I'm sure there are a lot of listeners and viewers who are going to be excited now, planning this as a 10x goal eventually, and maybe some of them will come up to you and say this is what they want to do. Now, let's take the other parallel, which is your workplace. You've recently been awarded as the 50 best workplaces in health and wellness, for health and wellness. So it definitely means that you've been leading with example. And like I said in the start, it's pretty evident in the team members as well, as I see how it has been possible for you and team to be able to translate the same enthusiasm and passion about fitness, because that's the only way to live, in others, that they wake up earlier than the sunrise, for example.
So first of all, I think first principle of leadership is lead by example. So you have to lead by example, and I hope I motivate enough. But that's not it. You need to create avenues for the people. No? So work-life balance in our organization plays a very important role, and that is one of the topics which is mentioned by most of the employees who join us. When we talk about work-life balance, it constitutes a lot of parameters. No? Just not that the amount of hours you are putting in work, but also what else you are doing.
Yeah.
So company provides a lot of avenues. So we have a lot of sporting events. We have sport committee. We have, and you don't have to go in one area of fitness. You can do whatever you like. We have an in-house gym here. You can play table tennis. You can do your weights, or if you are interested outdoor, you can play volleyball. You can play cricket. So there are a lot of avenues. We also do because now we are still in hybrid mode of working. That means 2 days here and 3 days at home. So we also offer online classes. We offer membership to our employees for on subsidized rates, so that we push people to join. And another important aspect we always say is consume your vacation. Don't accumulate it. And there also I try to say, I will lead by example. I'll finish my vacation in the year. so this is what I tell everyone. You need to take your vacation. And I think all these push from the organization helps people to think and participate. And when they see the collective energy is there, they also open up and they join one or the other sports they like.
Fantastic. No, this is, I'm sure this is very helpful for all of us, others as well, and other organizations to take inspiration from. Because when it becomes part of you and a part of culture, in literal sense as well, not only for saying, but also for doing, it is a lot more effective. And so now if I were to think of moving forward, you started from being a beginner to becoming an Ultraman and continuing that life. Among your employees, I also see there is another avenue where they have an opportunity to participate in a half marathon event. Also, that's quite a challenging course, which started last year. Moving forward, what's your goal for them and also for yourself with the continuous focus in endurance sport?
So what we said, we need to also have some event.
Yeah.
So last year we started Pune Hill Half Marathon. So that was sponsored by us, and we are doing it again. We want this as a family event. No? You come together with your family, your friends, and you could do a small run as well, starting with 5K, 10K, or a half marathon. So, and it's a beautiful hill. It's amazing to see, and especially now it's all green. So the course itself is wonderful. But what we are doing is we started within the organization a lot of also training plans for the people. So people can come up with the training. As we speak today is also a training plan happening where people are coached how to do a proper run, what all you have to take care during a run, how to strengthen yourself. So all these elements are brought to the people as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll hopefully see this end of September, lot more finisher medals coming and hanging here in the office space by the team members. Fantastic. People have been watching and listening to this conversation so far, and yet there'll be few who want certain hacks. What are some of your fitness hacks that you would want to tell to your viewers and listeners?
So when we, it's a tricky question. I think there's no real hack or a fast track.
Yeah.
You know it yourself. It's a journey. It's a slow journey. As I said, very important is how you make it as your habit.
Yeah.
How you start your journey. I think the biggest is the starting the journey.
Hmm.
A lot of people give up in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't give up.
Yeah.
This is the key. Continue it on the days when you don't feel good. Take a rest day. It's absolutely okay. No, there's no. You don't have to push yourself. Listen to your body as well. On the other side, excite yourself to do something new.
Yeah.
So when I was bored with running on half marathons and marathons within the city, I was always looking for what is outside the city. And there is so much beauty to be offered
Yeah.
by runs nowadays. You can do hill runs, you can do border runs. The variety is so huge. And something should be exciting.
Yeah.
Like the biggest excitement for me was to swim in the sea. I was a little scared as well as was excited to see how I could swim when there is so much waves.
Yeah.
And you know, swimming in the sea is a complete different than swimming in the pools. And we only had pools
Yeah.
where we used to practice. So you have to come above the fear, overcome the fear of depth. I think this gives you a sense of much achievement as well, to say I have excelled myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do much more, and I think everybody has a potential to do what they aim for. It's just they need to start towards it.
Yeah.
As we were talking about moonshots,
Yeah.
you think unimaginable, but when you start the journey, slowly you see that you are able to make it.
Yeah. Yeah. Start the journey and be at it for long enough time, and it comes about. No, very the good points, and I take these points, and I totally also find quite a lot of relativity with these, because it's very important to first set the goal, and sometimes, like what you said, is maybe a scary goal, whether it is swimming in the sea or having a moonshot, and go towards it. Just eventually all comes out, and when you look back and see, you feel, what I was scared about, this was totally doable, right? So and one other point, and this has come from a lot of conversations with beginner runners. When I meet them at the finish line and I speak to them, how do you feel? One of the things that always comes out, that they feel more confident,
Yeah.
similar to what you just said, and that's so motivating to see that running or any other sport is bringing confidence in them and making them better individuals overall, is just so fulfilling.
Exactly. And to be honest, I found it also for the family it is good,
Yeah.
because there are reasons. Because you stop going to too many parties because next day you have to get up early in the morning.
True.
So family, you can give more family time.
Yeah.
And so this was another positive aspect coming out to be to stay as a healthy lifestyle. And I think you get even recognized by your friends and peers and exactly what you said, the confidence is reflected on you, to say, I can do things which others can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Being the differentiated one is actually is pretty good one. Almost every conversation you will be a part of, or you'll be talked about. If there is a social discussion happening, whenever they think of you, they'll think of you fondly. or Ultraman in your case, or an Iron Man for that matter, and just that's very fulfilling as well. Not that you did it to get this name or to be talked about, but having social validation always helps.
No, I really am happy about that as well, because then you can also explain your experience,
Yeah.
your journey,
Yeah.
how you did it, and if it motivates even a single person, I think it helps. Although you're right, you don't do it for that.
Yeah.
You do it for yourself. I think in my case, one was the excitement of achieving that am I, can I, and so this was one. Second was which excites is completely overcoming the fear of unknown. No? Because again, going to the Ultraman, where we did the Ultraman, it's a surfers area. So surfer area means a lot of waves.
Yeah.
So the big waves, and we didn't had that experience of big waves. So when we were swimming, the waves were so high that the waves were even hitting you very hard.
Yeah.
And on the one side, you were a little bit scared. On the other side, I was always. I had a mantra there to say, if it would have been easy, then I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah, true.
So that excitement and after finishing, you feel that it was not so difficult. To be honest, you could manage it.
Yeah.
When you are in the process, I think you get all those thoughts. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? But when you cross that line, so yes, it was possible.
Yeah, indeed. From can you to you can, and you have done it, and you have done it really well. Fantastic. And you are continuing to inspire all of us, and you are continuing to lead by example in true sense. I'm sure this conversation is of great value to everyone who's listening, whether within the Volkswagen ITS or the entire group or otherwise. It's a fantastic story also from the point that you're able to, in certain ways people call it multitasking, but it's not multitasking. Being able to manage your priorities that matter to you, for your family, for your social self, and for you overall. And that I find very fulfilling and very satisfying. Such a fantastic conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.